Hey guys, so the competition is coming to a close in the next hour or so, and I thought while we're waiting for this hour to pass, I'll might as well look at the interview with John Oswald that was held by Paul Barron Network, and maybe someone react about that interview while we watching this last hour. So let's start this video and chat about that. Okay.
Hey, welcome into the live stream today. We're going to be jumping into Gala Games, but in a different perspective. We're actually going to get this perspective of one of the lead executives over there at Gala Games, and that, of course, is John Oswald. So it's going to be fun. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Metaverse Insider. As you guys know, we cover a lot on Gala, the topic. They're one of our studio partners, but we also dive into blockchain gaming as a whole. Where is the industry going? How are companies navigating these waters right now? And as we see blockchain really start to shift the gaming market, music, entertainment, Gala has been pretty much on the forefront of all of that good stuff. So we thought, hey, let's get somebody in that really understands the roadmap and
Before I continue, I'll put a link in the description on this original video. Uh, Sign up to Paul Barron's Network YouTube channel. He does good content there. Yeah.
understand where all of this is going. And that's Mr. John Oswald, president of Gala Games. Great to have you on the show.
Hey, Paul, great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent. So, John, let's learn a little bit about you, because obviously we've never had you on our show before. So thank you for doing this. Let's get into a little bit about what's your day-to-day like there at Gala, because I can imagine having so much fun around all these things. We've got a chance to talk to Sarah and Jason and, really understand kind of the evolution of what you guys are doing across the gambit. What's your most favorite thing for the day when you get to work at Gala?
Oh man, it's hard to pick. I think working on tokenomics strategy, an NFT strategy for the games is probably my favorite. It's a lot of it's kind of that first principle kind of work. We're trying to create things that haven't been created before. So when we get into that, and it's all, I love games. I'm in the industry because I've always loved games, and particularly video games. So wrapping strategies around all the different genres that we're going after, all genres that I love. It's difficult, but really energizing work to do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that part of it.
I'm glad you said that, because this is something that I often, when I talk to game developers, executives leading companies, even when we look at, the traditional AAA studios that we talk with here on this show, we get a chance to kind of dive into the mentality behind the executives that build these projects. One of the things that I'm always curious about is I don't hear enough people say they're really working on tokenomics, economies, really the scalability of how these games can work within the blockchain. So it's nice to know that you are into that. When you look at that from a strategic standpoint, because I think a lot of people know Gala for its entertainment forte. Obviously within gaming itself, music and film, we just launched here on our show just a few weeks ago. With that being the case, do you see the idea of tokenomics and the economies in blockchain gaming getting even more complex in the future, or do you think we'll start to see these get easier for gamers and others to really understand?
I think that they can both. They'll probably get more complex because we're creating new rules here for.
Well, that's true. I think it's becoming a lot more complex, but we need to find a way to make it more, let's say, accessible though, or understandable.
For how these work. So nobody's actually created a sustainable play to earn economy. So we're utilizing a lot of tools to put one in place, right? So among that, I can't say that it's not complex on the back end when you look at the spreadsheets for it. At the same time, we're trying. We're game makers, and I've been in free to play for a long time, and free to play is all about user experience and easy onboarding. So as much as they might be complex to make them work and work long into the future, we work hard to make that easy for players to understand, for node owners to understand that, how they how to play the game, how to earn, how to progress in the game. All those things have to be easy to get into, so you understand exactly what's happening, even if there's complexity underneath.
Well, that's what I've just said now. I mean, if we can't get the people on board, it won't work.
Keep track of that, because that's a lot of developers, a lot of creativity, and then you've got music and film kind of, because I think a lot of people ask that question: how does Gala do it? How are they able to keep track of all this great innovation?
Well, one thing is, on the game development side, we put a lot of work into sourcing the best developers who have great game making experience, tremendous track records for bringing hit games to market. So largely, we're depending on those developers to build great games, and that's how most of our relationships work. What we really focus on, and they're looking for, and it's very different in the market too for any developer that's looking for a partner. We get married with our developer partners, and we kind of say up front that what we're looking for is for folks to look for us to lead on NFT strategy and tokenomics. In the best case, that becomes a back and forth where we're both innovating because they know their game better than anyone will. But among my interaction and the team's interaction, that piece of it where we love the game, we have some idea of how we're going to structure an NFT strategy around it. We sign the deal. That part where we're actually coming up with how it's really going to work, how do NFTs fit into this game and make the game better? How does an economy in the game should improve the gameplay? How do we fit that together? That's the most intense period of work. So it actually happens fairly early on there, and then the other focus is once we're actually ready to go to market with the game. So we'll be bringing Spider Tanks to market next quarter. So there's a lot of focus on that game. Superior is another one that we're bringing to market. Those two pieces kind of bookend the most attention our team gives. We have a tremendous team of game product managers here that all have this skill set. So we kind of divide and conquer with leads across all of those projects. 27 always sounds like I'm forgetting something when I hear that number. It is a lot to keep track of, but we got a lot of great people.
I must admit, Superior is quite fun, so quite enjoyed playing that.
Well, I think that's the key, is when you have good teams that really can, especially if they understand the gaming sector, and then you layer in the aspect of strategy, business development. That's another place I think Gala is leading the forefront, at least in blockchain gaming, is that your biz dev partnerships along with film and music have been so striking. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to keep up with that. Going on to scenarios of engagement, and this talks about players. If you look at across the overall Gala ecosystem, what does a Gala gamer player ecosystem look like today? How large is it?
So right now, our only live game is Townstar. So the base for that game, it's relatively small. It's smaller than you would expect for mainstream free to play right now.
This is very true. This competition, if we were to look at this, let's just have a look here. Position. So the prize pool is for the top 4,500. Go to the bottom. There's 4,600 players, which 1/3 I can almost guarantee you is bots or second accounts or something like that, which don't even play the game. So you're looking here at a high-end or a high NFT play to earn game from Gala, or the main game from Gala at the moment. Yet there's a very small pool of players. Okay.
But it's a very very involved and rabid fan base we have that are bought into this mission, which is essentially, saying free to play is broken because you spend money on
Right.
digital assets that don't end up being yours. So while it's smaller, man, if you haven't been in our Discord and seen the level of interaction we have with our community, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think the key, that's the one thing, is the stickiness on games when they launch. It usually translates to other projects within the ecosystem. So I think for you guys' benefit, it's definitely a great opportunity to grow, because you graduate people into other, we see this all the time with, AAA studios that already have done the same thing, title after title after title. They just create that ongoing growth of audience and gamers that start to attach to that studio and all their content. When you look at mobile gaming, because this is one of the factors I think is going to be the birth of where blockchain will go, even though I do see console and PC gaming still being a big leadership role, at least in the Western countries. But in these emerging countries where we could see blockchain gaming really accelerate, you guys are doing Eternal Paradox as the mobile game. Is there some plans to really start to ramp up mobile for the future of Gala?
So my mid to long term on mobile is it's going to be critically important to blockchain gaming, because it's critically important to the gaming industry. I've spent a lot of time in free to play and in mobile. It's by far the largest user base. It's by far the biggest revenue driver. And frankly, it's the type of game models there are really most well suited to the blockchain proposition.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time in free to play. I was at Zynga in the early days. Been in a number of startups and EA. I spent one period building this a startup where we were building a messenger for mobile gaming clans. And as much as I had worked in free to play, this is because we were targeting this use case directly at the most engaged users of mobile games. It's where I really got to know them. And these folks in these style of games, people build their real life social communities out of games. They get incredibly deeply involved in this method of play that is not just, it's a consistency of play, and it really becomes part of your life. And they spend incredible amounts of money. That's why it's the biggest revenue driver. But even an individual might be spending, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 in a game, and a lot of that drives that top line revenue. And what I saw is they are completely disempowered, although they it's like the only version of trickle down economics that I've ever seen work. Those folks actually pay for the development of the game. They pay the publisher. They pay for everybody who's playing completely for free to play. And if the developer starts doing something that they don't like, they really have their only recourse is to full stop abandon every their account and everything that they've done. And that's where I think blockchain really changes things, and has to make that relationship has to be deeper between the developer and the players, because they have an option. They actually own the assets, and they can get out if they want to. So to me, it's the resistance that is coming from the platforms now, where even Eternal Paradox is going to be it's going to be on Android as a side load. There's not really any viable option for iOS right now. This is a better customer value proposition It fits in. It's great for developers. It's great for publishers. It's great for platforms. So to me, it's just sooner or later, those platforms are going to come around and really unlock a lot of potential for the types of games that we're building.
I want to get into, and I think that's a good point you're making, especially around the growth of mobile, because I think you're right. It's an evolution that's natural for, especially for blockchain. And I want to get into the
It's also quite interesting to see with blockchain how much more people are willing to spend, or how much people were willing to spend up to now for playing games, even skins and stuff. I think most people never knew how much money there was in free to play or skins and stuff in game. But with blockchain, it's more accessible, and we can actually see the value of what people spend on this stuff.
aspect of the monetary connections, because as we know, one of the big things with free to play is that many people would look at that, there is a little bit of pushback from traditional gamers in terms of blockchain gaming and what that might look like, because in some cases people get priced out, those kind of scenarios do happen. But with that being the case, and you look at things like just in general currency that's most used for like Gala items, whether it's ETH or Gala, are you seeing any specific trends just from the infrastructure around the game itself? What seems to be more popular, the Gala token, the ETH token, in terms of usage?
It's on our platform. It's I don't know the percentage, but by far it's Gala token for
Gala
our
token.
platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that obviously that just just shows the strength of the community itself. Will the ETH merge have any effect at all? Do you feel like on what could happen on both the token itself, Gala, in general, or the ecosystem of gamers within, especially within the Gala ecosystem? What are your thoughts?
Only as much as however it is received, and I mean this as ETH
Yeah.
go and Bitcoin go, our altcoins all follow at some level. So I hope it goes quite well and is well received. Fair or not, it does seem like that's the way it often tracks at a macro level.
And like me personally, I like to avoid Ethereum wherever I can. The gas fees is just killing us. And I don't know if it's really going to be that much different with the 0.2 version of ETH coming out.
Yeah, and this is something that, when we look at altcoins, we do our top 20 on our own power index, actually top 30 gaming and metaverse tokens that we watch. Gala, of course, is in our index. We track, right now, I think we are up to 12 or 13 within the index itself, but we rank the industry based on community, a little bit of sentiment data and price action that kind of covers all that. So it's always fun to kind of keep on that. But to your point, Gala has been one of those that has been leading the pack in terms of sentiment. It's been in the top 3 or 4 for quite some time running. So good environment in terms of a community, which is good. And I want to talk about that because community is really hard to build. You guys are doing it through film now, and then also obviously through music, and then the gaming ecosystem itself. Do you feel like the strategy of kind of an encompassing entertainment layer has been the key to your success, or do you feel like that it's just that the market was waiting for a Gala to come by?
I think it's just we're an aggressive company. Gamers watch films, they listen to music. And it was a natural next step for us and something we were willing to take on. I've been incredibly impressed with our team's progress on the business development and relationship front in film and music, as I've been focused on the games. But our community really it started on the game side, and I think it was we got here quite early with this vision. And I think people bought into it. It's a vision to let you get to own the things you buy. You get to really participate and own the things you buy in games. And I think that really resonated with the community we had early on and grew. And it's also as we grew and had success We did a lot of pre-sales for games that we're bringing to market. As we had that success, it's just kind of built and built and built. We started with Townstar and Mirandus as our internal development studios. We started that way because we're building a platform company, but when you start a platform from nothing with no users, no traction, it's hard to convince great developers to work with you. But it's just been a path over, I'd say, the last year and a half that essentially all the revenue we make, we've just turned around and used it to fund bigger and better games. And it's always been a focus on making great games. That's the heart of this. Is the games have to be great for any of the NFT strategy and tokenomics stuff to work. They have to be fun to play, and we've just built on that. And I've been amazed with the level of developers that we've been able to attract and the projects that we've been able to take on now that will be launching in the future.
I'm very surprised. We get a chance to watch this very closely, but I'm also surprised at how fast the industry itself is accelerating. And I was looking at, just in general, if you think about GameStop, right now, version 0.69, obviously coming out on the GameStop wallet. This is now released. This is most likely going to get a lot of activity in terms of games coming onto the GameStop wallet. What are your thoughts about what this side of the industry is doing, and how will Gala start to integrate into that, or do you have something even more intuitively planned in the future?
So I think we're agnostic and open to Web3 wallet integration within the Gala platform. Again, I think we're really focused on building platform from great content. I love to see this. I love to see investment and interest in the industry as a whole. Anything that brings positive attention to blockchain gaming, which at its heart is a very user first and developer first proposition.
Right.
I love to see it. So I like the attention that it's gotten. I don't necessarily think of it as competitive as it at this stage, because we need more people learning about this with an open mind and realizing this is a good value proposition for everybody.
I don't think there's a lot of competition. If we've got Gala and then we've got Maria, I think Maria is taking a better approach on it than Gala did in the beginning. But yeah, there's not a lot of competition in terms of providing a platform for this gaming industry on the blockchain.
It's a very holistic approach we take.
Yeah. You look at, you think about what the strategy of Roblox has been. They're focusing on monetization around advertising. They're trying to obviously adjust to their Q2 estimates they were kind of focused on. But what this brings up to me is the whole topic about immersive advertising within blockchain gaming and what that might look like as a revenue source for potential games as we start to see this launch and really become a thing within the industry. Do you think that integrated advertising, we've already seen product placement in AAA studios, all that kind of stuff, is this something that's just going to be a big part of blockchain gaming in the coming future?
I could, if there's a revenue source there, it could absolutely become a key component.
Well, yeah, if we want sustainable play to earn or play and earn, where we know we can play the game and earn money from it, advertising, obviously, if that's income, why not?
Personally, what blockchain gaming unlocks through ownership, I think advertising kind of cuts against it. It's that whole if you're not paying for the product, you are the product kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So where we're looking at it in terms of brand integrations are really only integrations where it totally makes sense and actually enhances the game, because you're playing a genre where maybe clothing brands or music are part of that that genre in the real world. So that's really the only place that we're looking at that. um, I don't think we won't be aggressively pursuing that. I can see why Roblox might go after it, but
Sure.
yeah, I think we prefer to keep it very integrated so that it completely it makes sense because it would be there in the real world, not that we're pitching you an ad for
Which
something.
Yeah, and I think this is a good strategy. I think Metaverse most likely will be the perfect place for those types of vehicles, the games themselves, and the ecosystems around film, obviously music. Those I think are going to be much more tied to artists, the game itself, and then the end user, which is, to your point, is really trying to create a better experience and look at the opportunities that are, those magical points of interest there for sure. Let's talk quickly about technology, because this is something that we're tracking quite a bit here in our studio, and that is, kind of the growth of what's happening within the space. You've got NVIDIA, who's now looking at AI, simulation, all sorts of new creative tools. When you look at developing and working with developers, how far do you think this is going to be going in the short period of time? Do you think we'll be continuing to see the kind of games that we're seeing right now? Or do you think that we're maybe at a threshold of a whole new environment of creativity around game innovation?
Where the rubber hits the road for me right now is we have a number of our developers that are working with Unreal 5. And that's been incredible to see what that technology unlocks. In some cases, we've taken games that were on previous versions and just upgraded them to Unreal 5 instead, and it's it looks like a new game and a new world of games. So we don't have anybody working with the NVIDIA thing in particular at the moment, but with new platforms out with more processing power, often what you see is that technology jump will happen quickly, like the new stuff's available, and then it takes a little while for developers to fully take advantage of it. So I'm excited to see where it's going, just constantly getting more in depth, more realistic. Overall, but I think it seems to always takes a few years for like the best games to come out for a new platform, and I think you'll kind of see the same thing here. But the games that we're building, like I think we're not trying to build just the best blockchain games. We really are going after building the best games, and it
Interesting.
It shows with the type of developers work with. I mean,
if we want to have any form of success in Gala, then they need AAA games, not downstar type games, but AAA games, and it's maybe Grit and some of those games is worth it, but we have to have AAA games.
That's the heart of it. Like I felt like there was, if we look at free to play as kind of an analog of a totally new economy monetization system. It took a very long time to get from Farmville to Call of Duty Mobile and Fortnite.
Exactly.
That was it took a decade to do that. We're looking at this very similarly to say, okay, we lived through that. We see where this is going. Why don't we just cut out the middle and go directly to the good stuff? So the games that we're building, as I was saying, as we've built up capital to be able to invest, we've seen the types of investments we make in projects going from, I think when I started here very very early on, it was $1 million, $3 million projects. We've signed on for a $75 million investment in a AAA title. Wow. With a studio that I can't wait to announce some of these because I think they're really gonna it's gonna get attention of real game makers, and real players who know developers. Like it's we're making real games. We're making
that'll level up the market for sure. And to your point, that's going to level it up like crazy. And to your point, really trying to win over those AAA studio devs. that are eventually going to make their way into blockchain, if not already. I mean, you guys have already kind of scored a ton of really great devs already with just, I was looking at Grit, just as a good example. Grit to me still is one of the most amazing visual blockchain games. Well, it's one of the most amazing visual games, period, much less, the fact that it's really centered around where blockchain is going. All right, so on to the next one. I just want to remind everybody, make sure and drop some questions in, make sure and smash the like button. We always love to get your feedback on these kind of interviews. And I want to get into Metaverse, John, because Metaverse obviously has been exploding over the last year. October, Metaverse, we saw an absolutely blitzkrieg of unbelievable growth. And then, of course, that's when Gala kind of came to the forefront last year and became a separator in terms of a leader in the pack from a token standard, but also from a standard of people recognizing what was happening within blockchain gaming. When you look at the metaverse as it is today, you look at things like Meta and other companies that are really trying to build on that. You've got Metaverse Open Standards now looking to develop with the Standards Forum. What are your thoughts on this? Do you feel like we do need kind of an accumulative approach toward the metaverse, or do you think there's going to just be a bunch of different, metaverses and development initiatives out there? What are your thoughts?
So I think there could, in theory, if everybody acts the same, there could be one metaverse where you can use NFTs from all of these various projects if the individual places that you use them allow that. And from our perspective, we're building a world around Voxverse, but we're very open to having it be a place where you can bring anything. That's part of this whole thing, is that you own the NFT, you own it, and you should be able to go use it anywhere. I think because I'm from this gaming background, a lot of what I often think about metaverse projects is, okay, now what the hell are you doing there? Okay, I'm in there. There's streets, there's buildings, there's the Adidas shop, whatever. What do you do, right? So the way I see it is that a lot of what you'd call metaverse are just interoperable games where there's a purpose to that. There's something that you go there and do with a purpose that integrates people who create things to do, people that actually play the games, do the things, and have a economy built around it that mimics real world economics, so it becomes its own kind of living, breathing thing. So even at Gala, we're building Voxverse as our kind of main foray into metaverse. But we have a few other games that you could consider their own metaverses. Like a lot of our worlds work like that. Mirandus is going to be a world like that. Like it's a game where we want to make you feel like you live in medieval times with with magic and dragons, and where it goes is completely controlled by the economy that the players create. And we have some others that are focused around other things like that, like very bespoke experiences that have a real purpose for why you're in the world in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope it doesn't. I honestly hope there's no. I hope there's no one big winner. I would hate to see Meta win, because I think they want a walled garden, and they want to take all the profit and keep they want control. And to me, this is not about one party controlling over it. It's supposed to be about everybody owning their piece of it and having control of that themselves. So my hope is that they specifically don't win, and nobody else is just the clear winner in that. It's an attitude I have for all projects that we could consider competitors. I just don't think of it that way. I think of us as partners building this new world together. We're all baking the same pie. We all want a piece of it, obviously, but we're all baking the same pie.
Well, I think this is going to be a scenario that plays out. But to your point, metaverse is so early, and most likely that we will see a lot of different iterations of how metaverse gets implemented. The question is what's going to be the overall economy within it. Is it going to be advertising based? Will we look at brand attraction or some sort of ability to deal with NFT integration and interoperability around a lot of games. All that's definitely yet to be determined. I do want to get to some questions, and I'm not sure if we have a poll coming up as well. We may. But I want to jump over to, well, there we go. We have a poll right now. So when will blockchain gaming explode and truly go mainstream? Here we are, 22. Everybody thinks that's pretty light. So it looks like 24 wins this one. Are you in line with that, John? Do you feel like 2024 is kind of the magic date, or do you think it's going to take longer?
I think that's a good estimate. I would think late 23 or early 24. And even if I align it to our own, I kind of use our own roadmap and project slate as a microcosm. This is just on the game on gaming. It takes a long time to build great games. There's absolutely no shortcut to building great games. So like,
I think personally it's going to be longer than that. It doesn't make sense. We've got a couple of generations of gaming developers that needs to firstly develop and get people on board. So I'm thinking a little bit longer than that.
Where I'm talking about like the larger investments we've made. These are 2-year projects, and sometimes they take longer because there's no point to launching a game but before it's ready. So if others are following in that same line, if others have had success and are doing the right thing by their users, which is taking that success and reinvesting it in building better and better games, I'd expect a lot of these games to start to come to fruition around that time period. And from our end, I can't speak to others, but from our end, I think they are really going to, the level of quality that we're building, I think is really going to shock people in the industry. And it's not just about getting the developers' attention. I think the real path to getting players' attention is not that they're thinking about, do I want to play blockchain games or not? They're like, what is that game? I want to play that game.
Yeah. Right.
This is 100% true. I've got friends playing esports games and AAA games, and they don't care about play to earn or blockchain game. If the game's fun and it looks good, they want to play it.
Right.
That's how you get them, So I think you're going to see the quality keep going up and up and up. Yeah.
Yeah. Game value is going to be huge.
Yeah.
For sure. I want to take a couple of questions in. One coming in here from Hilldog. When do you see play to earn integration with something like Xbox and PlayStation for Gala?
Well, I think it has with I think we're going to see it before iOS and Play Store.
Okay.
I'll put it that way. So what I found is,
I think there's some development in some game or something, because he's kind of evading, and he mentioned earlier about there's some projects that you can't wait to announce.
I think there's interest there, but there's absolutely trepidation as well. So I think as soon as you see the games start to go mainstream, those are going to be some of the first platforms to adopt this and embrace it.
What about a burning mechanism? If you think about just Gala the token, there's some companies or some projects that do look at different tokenomic approaches. Are you guys looking at any kind of potential burning mechanism or future of how to control the token itself in terms of distribution?
So as I on Gala token tokenomics and mechanisms, I don't think we are, but I'm very focused on the games and game tokenomic economies. So I'm probably not the best person to ask on the Gala side. On the game side, for game tokens that we launch, absolutely burn mechanisms are completely and totally part of the economies that we're building. It's absolutely right. You got to either on the Gala side, because the economy around Gala is so large, and as we keep reinvesting, not in just more games, but in music and in film,
Right.
there be the amount of operability for the token itself is expanding at the rate that the token expands, or greater in my mind as we do that. So I don't think it's as important for Gala as a token, but within a singular game economy, we're absolutely looking at that.
Interesting. Question here is, people are talking about a kingdom building game. People are really obviously getting into that. This is coming in from Harry. Do you guys have any futures coming around kingdom building games?
Kingdom building game. I don't know if they're referring to a 4X style game, which I think often kingdom building games are.
Yeah.
We are heavily invested in 4X. We got two space 4Xs announced right now. We got Battlestar Galactica, and we have Echoes of Empire. Eternal Paradox in a lot of ways is also a 4X style game, and then we got Fortified, which is absolutely a kingdom building tower defense style game. Right. But I think what they're probably referring to is the 4X style of play. We love 4X. We think it's a great match for blockchain. And yeah, we have a bunch announced and some others that aren't announced yet. So
coming soon. All right, very cool. All right, and then of course, anything coming up for Gala in the near future that you guys are kind of leaning in on in terms of any kind of new game launch? Anything you can give us as far as a potential inbound? Sounds like you have something coming big though right now.
So we've got we're a games company. We're going to launch some games. That's what's coming up this year. So Spider Tanks will be the first to go. I think we're looking Q4 for that, early Q4, launching it full on, the full economy, along with the launch of the token for Spider Tanks called Silk. This is a game that's, we've had this in beta. We've had some esports tournaments around it, have terrific interaction, and it's been nice the way we've done this, because this game is quite balanced. It's not actually very while you can upgrade your tanks in the game for them to get better and better, skill is really what overrides the ability to win in the game, which you need great balance for. So we've gotten through our beta test, we've gotten this game has been battle tested, and it is really ready to go. So we're excited about that. And then following that, the next one is likely going to be our game Superior, which is a roguelite, which is a genre that is I feel like it's a hot genre. It's an exciting style of gameplay. I absolutely love the team that's building this game. Love playing it. The art style is incredible. You feel like you're playing a comic book. And I think this is really this one is headed. This is a AAA production quality game. This is one that I think, like many of our games, as we go down the line, it's not just a great blockchain game. This is a great game. This team could have launched this, had plans to launch it, on Steam, and happened to decide to do it with us instead with an NFT strategy. But this is aiming just to be a great game, not a great blockchain game. And I think this game could launch and be a success with or without blockchain. I think it's going to be a bigger success with it.
Yeah, I think this is also, just to your point, is certain games will most likely start to develop big communities. This could be one of those. Much like what you're kind of saying is like playing a comic book. When you have those visual aids that really kind of create just a very unique connection to community, this will be one to watch for sure. So
it's just fun. It's really fun. Yeah, it's a fun game. I think if you play it, you're going to get hooked, and that's what we want.
That's the key. Hey, John, it's been great having you on the show today. Thank you so much for stopping in. We'll appreciate it, and we'll definitely be checking back in as things continue to progress here with Gala, for sure.
Look forward to it. Thanks so much for having me today, Paul.
Excellent. All right. So you guys are tuned in over on the podcast side of things right now. Make sure and jump in over here on our YouTube channel.
Okay, guys. So, thanks for Paul for doing that interview. There's quite a few things Gala need to sort out before they can actually go big. They are big, I suppose, but they've got a lot of issues they need to sort out, and especially like with Townstar, and just asking money the whole time doesn't work, in my opinion. But yeah, it's there's a lot of possibilities out there. In any case, thank you for watching, and yeah, let me know if you find other stuff that you need me to watch. Thank you.